The world has never known what to do with a woman who stops performing. The moment she stops smiling, dressing for approval, or shrinking to fit inside someone else's comfort, the world acts like she's lost her mind. And no one knows that better than Britney Spears, because freedom in a woman looks a lot like insanity to a world that only ever wanted her obedient. People love to call Britney unwell, erratic, unstable, because she twirls in her living room and writes captions that ramble. Society points to her and says crazy because it's more comfortable than acknowledging what happened to her was cruel. Because crazy sells, cruel requires change. After years of being imprisoned, silenced by her family, and stripped of every basic human right, she's crazy. But she's not crazy. She's free. And freedom can look messy when you've never been allowed to have it. Now, her ex, Kevin Federline, whose ghostwriter apparently has a lot to get off his chest, claims in a new memoir that Brittany once stood over her children while they slept holding a knife. And to my knowledge, he's never said this before. Not in court, not during the custody battle, not during the conservatorship hearings when it would have mattered, but now, after the child support payments have stopped. That's not a coincidence, but it is the same story told again and again, men exploiting women for profit. They carved her open for ratings and called it concern. They drank her tears like champagne and crowned themselves critics of the collapse they created. Her trauma was a tabloid franchise. When the conservatorship ended, the world didn't celebrate her freedom. They questioned her sanity for not performing freedom the way that they wanted. Because we don't protect women. We worship their reflection and abandon the woman inside it. They called it care while they controlled her, drugged her, and robbed her blind. They turned her into a warning label for what happens when a woman stops obeying, and then they hated her for surviving it. She doesn't owe anyone normalcy. She doesn't have to be polished or palatable to deserve peace. She can be chaotic, emotional, strange, because after what she's lived through, she doesn't need to be understood. She just needs to be left alone. Maybe the real knife in this story isn't the one she's accused of holding. Maybe it's the one society keeps handing her, the blade of ridicule and judgment demanding that she carve herself down to their comfort level. If any of us endured half of what she has, I don't know that we'd have the strength to keep dancing. And the fact that she still twirls, that's not instability. That's survival. That's defiance. She's not that glossy pop doll they built. She's the woman who tore down her own cage, and she doesn't give a fuck what it looks like. The truth is, Britney Spears didn't lose her mind. The world lost its humanity watching her bleed and calling it entertainment. We say that we protect women, but what we really protect is the system that breaks them. We don't help them heal, we hand them the blame. That's the real sickness, that we keep asking what's wrong with her instead of what's wrong with us. We failed her the moment we turned her pain into spectacle. The world devoured her, and now it's asking for seconds.